Great for grilling, Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Red and white seedless grapes, just $3.99 per pound, saving you $2. Lactate ice cream, hot price, just $4.99 for a 1-quart tub. Save $1.21 on select varieties of Eggo waffles, only $8.99 for a 29.6-ounce box. Save $2 on bird's eye corn on the cob, only $5.09 for a package of 12. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Thursday, June the 27th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. Low enrollment levels expected to be a feature of the public education system well into the middle of this decade, but with what impact? Gary Moreno sought to find out from Education Minister Diala Rabain. This after it was revealed by the minister that Paget Primary School is to go from 2 streams to 1 as a result of fewer students enrolling.
When I say Paget, you say primary! Paget!
This was the reaction yesterday from pupils and parents of the Paget Primary to news that the school will become 1 stream with bigger class sizes and 1 teacher transferred as a result of low enrollment for the upcoming academic year. Minister Rabain explained the reasons for this will be with us for some time yet.
The enrollment data for public schools clearly indicates a decline in the number of students, as was seen in the enrollment for 2019-2020 school year. A decline is projected to continue up to the year of 2026. This reality will require us to continue to examine staffing allocations at our schools, and this will mean we will continue to reassign staff as needed.
The minister is, however, confident of a positive outcome since these reviews which result from this situation will prove beneficial in the long term.
One of the benefits of reviewing class sizes and staffing allocations is that we are able to reassign teaching staff to fill vacancies within the school system. We will continue this practice and note that the restructuring of staff will ensure that we keep our teachers in the system, staffing gaps are filled, and quality education continues with the Bermuda public school system.
Kalmar Richards, the Commissioner of Education, pointed to other schools possibly being in the same position as Paget Primary come September.
At this point, we have identified some schools, and we are not in a position to confirm those schools yet because we are still engaged in discussions.
So then, given that low enrollment will be with us well into the future, can we expect school closures as a result and in keeping with the recommendations of the SCORE report?
Gary, the government intends to restructure our school system, and once that plan is in place and that plan is completed and we've consulted with the public, everyone will know at that point.
The government has made it clear that it wants to do with middle schools. I understand that you've been given a mandate to ensure that this begins next year. Any truth to that?
I have not been given any mandate to ensure that this happens next year. You might be referring to the comments made by the Premier in the House of Assembly in which he said that it's his anticipation that we will be phasing out middle schools by the start of the next school year. But he also added that he will ensure that we measure not once, not twice, but 3 times before we make that change. And so, yes, it is anticipated that we will be able to move towards that not by this school year, but the following school year. But we're not going to move until we are ready to move.
Pressed on the issue, the minister gave the assurance that even if it comes to that, no action on school closures will be taken without consultation with all stakeholders. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Meanwhile, Bermuda Broadcasting has obtained a copy of that letter sent to the Ministry of Education by teachers at Paget Primary. And as Troy Trott explains, the teachers deny it contained anything meant to mislead parents.
The minister yesterday alluded that teachers had misled parents by providing misinformation on plans to make the Paget Primary single stream. However, the letter we obtained dealt strictly with the possible impact of such a move on the quality of teaching and learning at Paget Primary. Teachers contend there are students in each class who have similar academic, behavioral, and social challenges, but there is a lack of additional support, so merging year levels will be detrimental to students' learning and development. They maintain that with more and more students being diagnosed with learning disabilities, including ADHD and OCD, consolidating year levels will result in students not being afforded the required amount of personal space, and this will pose a challenge to teaching and learning for those students identified as at risk based on a trauma checklist. As an example of how difficult combining classes could prove, the teachers cited a situation they say existed during the 2016-2017 academic year when the primary 6 teacher had a combined class of 26 students. They claim while there was a paraeducator available, a student needing particular attention took up most of the paraeducator's time and attention and was unable to assist the classroom teacher. As such, students with behavioral and social and academic challenges were unable to have their individualized needs met. This, the teachers maintain, is a disservice not only to students, but also the educator and parents. Parents say they have already been expressing concerns about their child's interaction with children who demonstrate severe and disruptive classroom behavior. The teachers are of the opinion that the ministry's plan for a Paget primary goes against the ministry's own aims of improving student outcomes and supporting schools with quality teaching and learning. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Do stay with us.
Girl, come my way, no matter what time of day. Babes, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Babes, hey, babes, you know I said
I'm a big deal. You're my friend, I'm a big deal. Yeah, we're kinda important, for real.
We no frightened for your spondyle. But you have one shoes alone, I'm a bill. Enough of them lose them soul for gain the world. When I switch for the table turn, me no frightened for Benz and Beamer. I'm in a sell out, my friends them neither. Enough of them lose them soul for gain the world. When I switch for the table turn.
Enjoy memorable moments brought to you by ZBM.
4K ready box, cloud DVR storage, more local channels on every device in your home. Get more with FiberWire TV.
You can count on us.
Driscoll strawberries, only $4.99 per 1 pound package, saving $2. Fresh ground beef family pack, just $2.99 per pound, saving $1. Hot price on old time butter bread, only $4.99 for a 22-ounce loaf. Select varieties of Kool-Aid drink mix, just $5.39 for a 20-ounce tub. Keto diet approved Epic pork rinds, only $4.99 for a 2.5-ounce bag, saving $1. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
One of the island's prominent litigation guardians doubtful over the government's new Children Amendment Act 2018, which proposes to allow the government discretionary powers to provide representation to minors in family court proceedings. She believes it doesn't go far enough to meet the island's legislative obligation to children. The Court of Appeal recently found that the Minister of Legal Affairs failed to set up a framework to provide children and families before the court with a litigation guardian. The ministry, in response to the ruling, stated, quote, "In some ways we are ahead of the ruling and are well advanced in our initiative to enhance the support of our children during the court process." Some, however, disagree.
I don't think that that's entirely accurate. I do appreciate that they may be in the process of setting up a scheme, but to suggest that they're ahead of the ball game is completely off base. The bill that they tabled in November 2018 actually sought to water down the rights of children and is actually seeking to make that section of the legislation discretionary.
Ms. Tiffany Thomas, an independent social worker and litigation guardian, was appointed to protect the interests of children in 2014, which saw her with a caseload of 35 children. She argues the government's proposed amendments to the Children's Act puts us in a precarious position.
In 1975, in the UK, it was found that this discretionary approach was woefully inadequate. And so for us in 2019 to want to backtrack to an approach that was already determined to be woefully inadequate, it is a bit concerning, and it doesn't appear to be consistent with one's efforts that would be deemed to be ahead of the ball game.
Ms. Thomas has stepped away from duties as a litigation guardian pending the outcome of a legal dispute, but she says it is ultimately the children who are disadvantaged.
And it pains me to say that it's my understanding that since I did indicate that I could no longer continue in the same way that I was functioning, that there have been no litigation guardians appointed. And so that is a little disheartening, because that means that between the end of last year to now, children have continued to be, matters have continued to be disposed of in the courts without children having independent representation.
Children who suffer gravely due to a lack of proper representation were highlighted recently in the press. Stories also reaching us of children who benefited from services rendered overseas through the Department of Child and Family Services.
I'm not opposed to the service, it's the process. And if we make the decision that in certain circumstances young people need to be transitioned to another jurisdiction for treatment, then it's my position that it should be done legally. And in order for it to be done legally, these children and their families must have representation. Otherwise, we run the risk, as has happened, that evidence is placed before the court suggesting that this is the only route, and that evidence isn't tested because there's only one voice in the room.
But the common misconception is that litigation guardians are only needed in cases from the DCFS.
It's issues related to care, custody, and control. And so that can be a married couple that's divorcing. It can be a mother and father who had a child out of wedlock, and they need to determine what access is going to look like. So I don't want it to appear as if it's just Department of Child and Family Services related cases, because that will be inaccurate.
In her experience, not many families use only one helping service or charity on the island. A litigation guardian offers a holistic approach.
If there is a child who is having difficulties in an academic setting and a government employed social worker makes these observations, there may be some difficulty with them navigating, because Ministry of Education is also a government entity. But the litigation guardian can make very deliberate, clear, independent, and objective recommendations without regard for stepping on people's toes, because the objective is to focus on the child. And those are very concrete things that have happened in the past, and we've been able to adequately advocate to ensure that the child's needs are met outside of the parameters of what's politically correct.
In other news tonight, the One Bermuda Alliance Senator Dwayne Robinson has publicly backed the police service for its public support of the island's first ever gay pride parade. The police commissioner Stephen Corbishley was the subject of criticism on Facebook after he not only declared that his organization supports the event, but that he personally will be in attendance on August 31st. However, Senator Robinson, speaking for the opposition, believes the police commissioner did the right thing.
My first initial reaction was to look into whether or not these folks are actually from Bermuda and, determine the validity of these comments. But it was also disdain, because such a display of intolerance should not be tolerated by anybody.
You are calling on the police service to take a course of action in response. What sort of action would you like to see?
Well, it was more along the lines of just supporting the stance that the commissioner has already taken, as he's already spoken out into what the BPS intend to do. So it was more of a support, or a call for the government to support these initiatives put forward by the BPS.
Some feel that the police service should not be publicly supporting this pride event in the way that they have.
I disagree. I feel as though the commissioner, was very bold and very confident to put himself forward as a leader in the community, when both my colleagues and the government have been so silent on this issue. And I believe that if it's a minority group within our society that is being targeted by these threats, that it should be taken seriously, and it is a refreshing thing to see that the commissioner has taken point on this and has assured that he personally supports this parade and also will make sure that it is safe.
Responding to calls on social media for there to be a parade to celebrate so-called straight pride, Senator Robinson told us talk of holding an event to celebrate heterosexuality misses the point.
I think folks have a right to call for any sort of parade that they deem necessary. However, I believe that this parade is being misconstrued as a way to throw the LGBT plus community's sexuality in the face of the community, and that is not at all what the parade is for. It is a parade to celebrate how far they've come, to embrace and to have their community embrace them. Now, a straight pride parade seems a bit redundant since that is the status quo. That is what is accepted within society already. So it doesn't need to be glorified to a higher extent in that regard.
Have you had any feedback from the LGBT community to some of the negativity posted online?
I have. I have gotten mixed comments. A lot of folks are feeling very brazen and, still their resolve to still go out and express themselves. But there are some that are feeling a bit reserved, being as though these comments made towards them a lot of them are very vile. And it takes a lot for somebody to then come out in the face of such reckless hate.
And this just coming to hand, we have an update on that development a few weeks ago that saw public school teachers skipping school for the day to attend a union meeting. Bermuda Broadcasting News has learned that the pay for those teachers not showing up was deducted for a day due to their unauthorized absence. There was a no-show by teachers at the time, which led to chaotic scenes that left parents scrambling and the minister expressing his disapproval. We'll have more on that in subsequent newscasts. Well, there's plenty of sunshine to soak up over the next couple of days. Make sure to wear plenty of sunscreen, but things could change up slightly thereafter. Let's go over to the AccuWeather headquarters to see what's in store for us.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast on ZBM is brought to us by the folks at the BF&M Insurance Group. We have some pretty decent weather. We have had a few brief showers across the island, not just today, but also yesterday. So a couple of days with some odd hit or miss showers that happened to cross some of the land here. But as we move forward in time, we don't expect to see much more rain. Just a spotty shower tonight or tomorrow. We might see small amount, probably under 1/10 of an inch moving forward before we totally dry things out into the beginning of the weekend. We're at 82. It's warm. It's humid out there. Humidity's hovering around 80%. Light winds from the southwest are keeping the waves small. And they're only around a foot or smaller than that, at times even nearly flat. On the inside of the reef and on the outside, we're dealing with 1 to 3 footers out there, so there are no boating advisories. It's a nice time to be on the water. We recently had a high tide, so coming up next we have low tide. The tide will be going out all evening until 11:39. It'll come back in early tomorrow morning, and another low tide in the late morning, right up to lunchtime on Friday. So as we look at the forecast, again, we have the mention of a brief shower or two, but we don't expect this to amount to a whole lot. Lows will be on the somewhat warm side, only around 75. We're not able to cool down much with this high humidity in place. You can see these real spotty flickers of a suggestion of a shower over the next day or two through Futurecast, but we do expect to be dry by Saturday with this clockwise flow, high pressure right overhead, and that should keep us dry. In the meantime, Friday we'll go with the brief shower or two in a few spots. Otherwise, a mix of sunshine and some clouds, and highs will be around 83 degrees. Down into the Caribbean, we have scattered showers and a more bona fide chance of thunderstorms into Jamaica. Barbados looks okay. Highs around 88, generally dry. Trinidad and Tobago, some spotty showers, and we do expect to close the month of June with no June tropical storms or hurricanes. We did have the A storm back in May, and that was a subtropical storm that posed no real threat to us. Into the Gateway forecast, eastern North America, cloudy, warm and humid in Toronto and into New York City. Similar story there, 87 into Boston, 88 degrees. Not a true heat wave in New York City and Boston, but places from Philadelphia south are battling 3 days of 90-degree plus, and in the eastern U.S. they call that a heat wave, at least in the northeast. Into Miami and Atlanta, temperatures similar, better chance for storms into South Florida. London looks great at 76 with some sunshine. Not as hot as it has been in the United Kingdom, and France is beginning to cool down a bit as well. A hot time on the east side of the Atlantic. Scattered or spotty showers Friday. We're going to go dry Saturday and dry Sunday after a long stretch with small waves and really nice boating weather. The waves are going to begin to increase late Sunday. The breeze picks up. Showers return Sunday night after a nice weekend. And then Monday will be a little tumultuous with showers, thunderstorms, and larger waves out there with a more active breeze. Will dry out pretty quickly into Tuesday.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
There's no need to adjust your television screens. It's for real. Spittle Pond has turned pink. A Department of Environment and Natural Resources spokesperson explained the intense pink color of the water at Spittle Pond is due to a seasonal plankton bloom. Microscopic phytoplankton cells grow and reproduce rapidly in the warm waters that are enriched with nutrients. The red color is determined by the photosynthetic pigments in each of the billions of phytoplankton cells in the pond. A similar bloom was observed there in September 2015. The types of phytoplankton cells present in Spittle Pond change over time, and only certain combinations of temperature, nutrients, and specific cells can produce a bloom like this one. It may last for a while until nutrients are used up and zooplankton begin to feed on the phytoplankton, controlling their growth. In turning to sports, Earl Basin, fresh from covering the CONCACAF Gold Cup tour of Bermuda's Gumby Warriors, brings us the latest from the sports world.
4K ready box, cloud DVR storage, more local channels on every device in your home. Get more with FiberWire TV.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace food court.
You know what? That sounds good.
They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up. Avoid the good carbons.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It doesn't matter. No matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
Cal is back. He's been hearing about open internet and wonders if it applies to Bermuda. The short answer is yes. Open internet or net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers, referred to as ISPs, must provide access to all lawful websites and online data equally, regardless of whether you're posting pictures to Instagram, watching your favorite sports team, or even streaming movies from Netflix. Without open internet, ISPs could influence what you see and how quickly you see it by speeding up some services and slowing down or even blocking your access to legal content or apps. The regulatory authority is developing rules for open internet to protect consumers by making it clear to ISPs what they can and cannot do with internet traffic. And we'd like your input. Just visit rab.bm and submit your feedback by clicking on the public consultation for open internet link between May 20th and June 28th. Make sure your voice is heard.
Now, Nikki, come Saturday night, we all know Bermuda's on a high in sports right now. How do you plan to continue that trend come Saturday night in Dockyard?
I just plan on being the best Nikki Bascom that I possibly could be. You know, I prepared 110% for this fight. I know I have a tougher pen in the head, and I'm mentally prepared to, dig deep.
How have you been preparing for this? You've seen him fight, obviously, in video, a couple of fights. How have you been preparing for him, his style, compared to your style?
We prepared a lot on southpaw sparring, some orthodox sparring as well, because he likes to switch. So, we implemented a game plan throughout training camp, and we, worked on it every day. So, I'm looking forward to doing the same thing on Saturday night.
Indians love the fact that sports has galvanized this country, and it's now your turn. What will you say to the Bermuda people to come out and support you come Saturday night?
I'll say, thank you, first of all, for the support. It gives me a lot of motivation, a lot of gas and fuel to give my best. And, you know, come Saturday night, I plan on giving my very, very best to get the victory.
Daniel Phillips was back in action on the courts in Alicante, taking part in the Rafa Nadal Tour tennis tournament. Phillips was playing in his second round match in the boys under 14 division. Unfortunately, he would go down in straight sets, 6-2, 6-1 to Alberto Fernandez. Willie Clemens and Trey Ming's former Thomas College men's soccer head coach, Chris Parsons, reflected on the players' performances this week at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Clemens and Ming are former standout soccer players at Thomas College. He's quoted as saying, "I got chills watching those games to see them play against teams like Costa Rica, who is ranked 39th in the world rankings for FIFA. To see Willie make an impact in the game like that was a great feeling." Parsons coached both players between 2013 and 2016 and has been impressed with what he's seen from them in the tournament. Four Bermuda sailors continue competing in the 2019 Optimus European Championships in France. PJ Rodriguez, Amelia Lewis, Rachel Betchart, and Eva Rosser are flying the Bermuda flag. In the boys division that has 176 sailors, Rodriguez fell 8 places and is now in 155th after 3 more races on the day to take the regatta total to 5 races sailed. Rodriguez finished the day with 174 net points. With 117 girls on the water, Lewis continues to lead the Bermuda fleet with 119 net points, and she is in 68th place. Betchart is in 90th with 153 points, and Rosser is 110th with 188 net points. Meanwhile, the Wednesday night sailing series that starts and finishes in the Hamilton Harbor continued, with 29 boats going to the start line for race day 10. Nasty Medicine was the first boat to cross the line on the night, clocking a time of 1:04:28, but with their corrected time of 1:10:20, saw them finish third on the night. Air Force was the second boat to cross the line with a time of 1:14:29, and with their corrected time of 1:09:50, saw them finish second on the night. Man O' War, who was clocked at 1:15:20, and with the corrected time of 1:09:39, saw them finish first on the night. Mayhem finished fourth on the night with a corrected time of 1:10:46, this after crossing the line at a time of 1:15:29. Smokin' rounded out the top 5 finishes with a corrected time of 1:11:10. In the latest round of Bermuda Basketball League action inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium, it saw a total of 197 points scored. Game 1 saw the Southampton Wolfpack defeat the Hamilton Parish Rockets 58-41. Macau Glasgow would lead the Southampton Wolfpack to victory for the second game in a row. This time he scored 17 points. He grabbed 6 rebounds. He had 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block shot. Omar Wolf scored 18 points to lead the Hamilton Parish Rockets. He also grabbed 10 rebounds, and he had 2 steals. A total of 98 points were scored in Game 2 as the Pembroke Skyforce defeated the Smith Court Kings 55-43. I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
And that's all from us this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.